I was also proud to vote for President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, a generational investment to secure our borders.
When you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sake.
Woo! There you have it, folks. Republicans' complete indifference on display at town halls this week to their constituents' very real concerns about the massive cuts expected from Trump's budget bill. The bill still has to limp its way through the Senate, but as it stands right now, it calls for $700 billion in Medicaid cuts and could cancel health insurance for 8.6 million Americans. Paola Ramos and V. Spear are back with us. Before we get your thoughts on this, I do just want to update this very important story with what is being described as an apology by Senator Joni Ernst. Take a listen to what she said in response.
I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well.
Okay, so that was her being sarcastic and totally missing the point of what the real grievance was. It's not that people don't know that they're going to die on this earth. It is that people want to live and have access to health care. And when you deny them access to health care, you are accelerating their chances of death. And nobody wants their death to be accelerated.
You just know she got off that self-tape and was like, nailed it.
Crushed that.
She's like, guys, I got him.
Yeah,
I got him.
She got him.
Yeah.
She got him. 8. Yeah. No, what a weird thing to do, huh?
To double down on...
I thought at first, oh, maybe she's kind of going for it. And then, no, of course not. No.
I feel like there's a lot of them, lawmakers, I mean, who think they have, like, the sauce that Trump has, like, to off the cuff be nasty in a funny way. And it's actually an incredibly rare skill. Like, I hate to use that word. But that was just really bizarre to watch. There was nothing fun. I can't even imagine one of her supporters or colleagues, collaborators.
Do you think she ran that by her comms
fun.
person? Like, hey, guys, don't worry, I got this one. Don't worry, I know how to get us out of this mess. Watch this. And
Not to be the earnest one on this panel, but like there is actually evidence that when people lose their Medicaid, they have a much higher risk of death. In fact,
no, but that's what I'm saying. That's when you get off Medicaid, you are accelerating.
There's a new study.
We got the stats.
Yeah, there was a new study that came out, I think this week or last week, from a couple of economists, one at Dartmouth, one at the University of Chicago. Actually, the Chicago guy is generally reputed to be relatively conservative, that basically finds that when people lose their Medicaid, they are something like 21% at higher risk of mortality, and that a huge reason why rich people live longer than poor people is access to health insurance. So I just don't understand.
No,
like,
she knows
they
that.
don't. She knows. Well,
she knows that. She knows that.
Or not, though, because that's the thing. They don't understand this, like, life and death reality. You know, and I think this is where it is becoming increasingly harder to sell Trump's agenda, because people are realizing that this populism that he sold is totally fake. He's the fakest populist out there. He ran, he promised that he was the anti-establishment, anti-elite. He's one of us. And here you're seeing how finally, even Republicans are starting to understand how out of touch they all are.
With their own base.
Then you start to see the way that it is exposing this contradiction that we're all aware of, which is that Trump supporters rely on the Social Security safety net. In fact, almost more than anyone. Going back to Miami, like, Miami-Dade County has a huge amount of Cuban-American Trump supporters. Miami-Dade County also happens to be the county that has the highest rate of Obamacare enrollees in the nation. And so this is kind of the contradiction that is now being exposed, and this is where Democrats can perhaps run and win with that message.
Republicans have been a little bit smart about the Medicaid cuts, trying to have them. Initially, they wanted to have them start, I think, in 2028. Now they're going to start after the midterms. So, you know, the question is, people who are not as tuned into daily machinations in the legislature and things like that, will they actually notice before it is too late? And I don't know.
We had to change how we talked about it. Because when I say, oh, we're cutting Medicaid, they're like, well, I'm not on Medicaid. I'm on Badger Care. I'm on TennCare. I'm on a different thing. So it was about getting with local folks and making sure that people know this will affect you. And then Republican politicians lying and saying, well, we're just kicking off all the immigrants that shouldn't be on it in the first place.
Or the guys who play video games in their basements.
Able-bodied men who don't work and are on Medicaid out there, like, who are they? And so when you can tell that truth and get people into these town halls who are like, I am the person that you're looking down on, that's really, I think, changing.
Let me play for you guys Congressman Mike Flood from Nebraska, because he was asked specifically about this. Watch his response to your point. Watch this.
Can you please tell us why you voted to approve a budget bill that includes Section 70302, which effectively prohibits federal courts from enforcing contempt orders? I only got 30 seconds. Which would then allow current and future administrations to ignore those contempt orders by removing the enforcement capabilities.
I do not agree with that section that was added to that bill. This provision was unknown to me when I voted for the bill.
Unknown to me. It's different than Medicaid, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I wonder to what extent these politicians who are voting for these bills know what's in the damn bill when they're voting for it.
I think they're kind of high on their own supply, right? Like they believe the talking points is this is only going to affect the freeloaders. This is only going to affect undocumented immigrants on Medicaid, who, by the way, are not allowed to be on Medicaid already. Like
it's coming in from like a GOP comms person at headquarters. He's like, here are the talking points on the bill. Just stick to these talking points. And then you get a congressman in a town hall who's like, I don't know what was in the bill.
Because if you tell one lie, you have to tell another lie. And this lie is compounding on itself. So the folks who sold the MAGA agenda just a couple months ago, really, they can't give it up right now. They'll look like a liar. So they have to tell another lie to cover that one and keep it going and keep it going.
But people smell that arrogance. Sure. And I think Republicans are smelling the arrogance, that blind loyalty to Trump, and they're understanding how dangerous it is. And going back to the Democrats, like, this to me is an entry point. Perhaps casting Trump as this threat to democracy is like less palpable, because we're talking about ideology. But this is where you see the corruption. This is where you see the conflict of interest.
Do you see anyone harnessing that effectively right now?
In the Democratic Party or generally? Because I see boomer women harnessing it. I mean, they are out there, right?
Well,
they're like,
a bunch of them are in the Democratic Party.
They already marched in the 60s. I am sick of this. My kids are grown, and I'm going to these town halls like that lady was.
And they're actually reading all 1,000 pages of the bill.
They are reading it, and they're making TikToks about it.
V and